Sometimes, in the most ordinary moments of life, something stirs gently within us. A soft breeze that does not come from outside, but from the depths of the soul. A faint whisper asking, "Have you ever wondered why you are here? Why you feel different even when you try to blend in?" There are those who have heard this calling long ago, but they ignored it. Out of fear, out of busyness, thinking it was only imagination. Yet for the chosen souls, that calling never fades. It returns again and again until they stop, listen, and realize this is not just a sound, but the beginning of a sacred covenant. In that silent moment, the verse from Psalm 25-14 echoes like a revelation. The Lord confides in those who fear him. He makes his covenant known to them. It is the promise between the Creator and the human soul that those who dare to walk through darkness, who dare to face trials, will be guided to find the true light. And the very moment you recognize that calling, whether in a dream, in a loss, or in a deep, unnamed longing, is the moment your soul begins to move. The chosen are not born with a halo. They are born like everyone else, knowing fear, doubt, and pain. But deep inside, something is different. A force that refuses to settle for a shallow life. They crave something deeper, truer, beyond wealth, fame, or recognition. And sometimes, the feeling of being lost in this world is the first sign of being chosen. Because only when you realize you no longer belong to the old place can you begin to find the true home of your soul. The story of the chosen always begins with a breaking, not by accident, but by the subtle design of the universe. It might be losing someone you love, losing a job, or losing your sense of direction. But within every loss, a door is opening, though the eyes cannot yet see it. Like a seed that must crack for life to emerge, the soul must also break for light to enter. Someone once said, "When life takes everything away, it is not punishment, but purification." Indeed, the chosen are not given an easy path. They are given challenges, harsh yet necessary gifts. Every crack in their heart is a place where light seeps in, and those wounds will one day become the source of healing for others. Perhaps you are hearing these words on a quiet evening, when your heart feels heavy without knowing why. You feel as if you are standing at a crossroads, no longer the person you were, yet not quite who you are becoming. If you are in that in-between space, perhaps this is the calling meant for you. The call does not ask you to change right away, only to admit that you have heard it. That is the first step of every awakening. The universe never sends signals by chance. Every sign, a number repeating, a strange dream, a coincidence beyond reason, is a message that your soul is awakening. In the early days of this journey, you may notice the number 111 somewhere, on a clock, a sign, a random receipt. But 111 is no accident. It is the first seal, the number of new beginnings, a reminder from above that you are entering a rebirth. A gateway has opened. Even if you cannot yet see it clearly, the chosen, in the way of the universe, are the souls tested the most. For only those who walk through fire learn how to shine. The coming trials are not punishments, but lessons for the soul. Every pain is a flame, every wound a teacher. You will lose what you once thought was everything, only to receive what you truly need. Your faith will be tested, so that a deeper faith may be born. You will feel alone, only to realize that solitude is where you meet your truest self. There is an invisible movement happening within you. It is not loud or dazzling. It is like dawn before sunrise. The first light is always the quietest. You may not notice it yet, but your soul has begun the journey. Every emotion, fear, hope, confusion, is proof that you are truly alive, no longer just existing. And that is what every chosen one must experience, an awakening that does not come with thunder, but with a silent heartbeat whispering, "You are being called." In this moment, allow yourself to listen. No need to understand everything. No need to believe too soon. Just be still and feel. Remember that every soul has its own rhythm. No one is ever late on their path. When you are ready, doors will open, guides will appear, and you will understand that you are never alone. The chosen are not perfect people. They are those who have fallen, doubted, and once believed they were unworthy. But within that weakness, they discover true strength, the strength of faith, patience, and compassion for themselves. That is when the real journey begins, not somewhere far away, but right here, in every breath, every thought, every small choice each day. Perhaps you have seen that light once, even briefly, a thin ray shining through the fog of life. Do not let it fade. Hold it close like your own breath, for it is the message that you are being called to become more than who you are. And if you are hearing these words today, it is no coincidence. It may be the reminder that your journey is beginning, a journey that does not promise ease, but promises meaning. For being chosen does not mean being spared from pain. It means you are trusted with a mission to be a light in this world. And that light, no matter how small, can ignite a flame in the hearts of thousands. Every soul that hears this calling is a tiny star in the vast sky, together forming the galaxy of hope. And so, the story begins, not with drums or bells, but with a quiet breath in stillness. One person, one soul, one beginning. A covenant renewed between humanity and the Creator. Between heaven and earth, a path opens, the path of the chosen. After the calling is awakened, the life of the chosen one does not become easier. In fact, that is when the fire of trials begins to rise. The universe does not send rewards to souls that have just opened their eyes. It sends fire, because only in fire does the true nature reveal itself. Just as iron must be forged to become a sword, the soul must go through pain to become strong enough to carry the light. The first days of this trial often arrive in silence. No warning, no sign. Everything seems to fall apart. People who once stood by you begin to drift away. The job that once felt secure starts to shake. Plans that seemed unshakable collapse overnight. The chosen one looks around and finds themselves standing among the ashes of their old life. A part of them wants to run, but another part knows this is not punishment. It is the beginning of a baptism by fire. In those dark nights, Psalm 34-18 resounds like a whisper of comfort. The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. Those words are not only a promise, but a reminder that even in complete brokenness, you are not alone. For only when everything around you collapses can the soul hear the footsteps of God drawing near. The chosen begin to experience a chain of losses, financial struggles, declining health, broken relationships. Sometimes they fall to their knees and cry out to the universe, "Why me? Why must I go through this?" But deep down, they understand, because they have been chosen. And being chosen always comes with responsibility. If you cannot endure the weight of the trial, how can you carry the light that guides others? The first challenges are like waves crashing against stone, wearing away layers of pride and false strength. The old self, once thought to be strong, begins to crack. Pieces of the ego fall away, revealing something pure beneath, a humble heart, a trusting soul. And among those fragments, the chosen begin to realize that true strength is not about how much they can control, but how much they can let go. One morning, after a night of near despair, they wake up and realize they are still alive. Breathing, something that once seemed simple, now feels like proof of a miracle. Amid the ruins, a small light flickers. Not bright, but steady. And the chosen understand, this is how the universe teaches strength, not through victory, but through the courage to rise, even when you do not know where to go. The trial of fire is not only about endurance, but about learning to see meaning in suffering. Every loss, every stumble, carries a message. When they lose possessions, they learn the truth of freedom. When betrayed, they learn where to place their trust. When lonely, they learn to speak with their own soul. Through each step, they are being shaped into a stronger version of themselves, someone who can stand in the storm and still remain kind. One night, they sit alone in a dark room, listening to the rain outside. Each drop falls like the steady breathing of the earth. In that moment, they understand that life is like the rain, not meant to drown, but to cleanse. Pain works the same way. It does not come to destroy, but to wash the soul clean, to strip away all that is false within. When tears fall, it is not a sign of weakness, but proof that the heart is still alive, still feeling, still loving. In the days that follow, the chosen begin to see life through different eyes. They no longer ask, "Why is this happening to me?" But instead, "What is it teaching me?" That question changes everything. For when they stop blaming, pain transforms into a gentle teacher. They realize that trials are no longer enemies, but sacred initiations of the soul. In the dim light of dawn, the chosen sense the first shift within. They may still have nothing in their hands, but their heart is different. Inside, a quiet faith is being planted. They know they are being prepared, like a blacksmith sharpening a blade, waiting for the day when that sword will serve the good. In silent moments, they begin to notice the number 111 appearing more often, on clocks, on signs, on a small piece of paper carried by the wind. At first, they think it is coincidence, but then, with a quiet knowing, they understand. This is the first seal, the greeting of the universe, the number 111, the number of new beginnings, of first light. It appears whenever a soul is ready to move into a new phase. The chosen feel comfort in that, as if unseen eyes are watching over them, as if an invisible hand lifts them up each time they fall. Time passes, and pain turns into memory. From the ashes, a new strength is born. Not the strength of one who never fell, but of one who has fallen and risen countless times. In the mirror, they see someone new, eyes deeper, calmer, softer. No longer afraid of loss because they have lost everything. No longer afraid of the dark because they have lived within it. And for that very reason, they are now free. Someone once said, "When you have nothing left to lose, you can love life in its truest way." The chosen understand this. They look around and see beauty in the smallest things. Sunlight through leaves, a child's laughter, a stranger's smile. And they know that life never abandoned them. It was only teaching them to see with new eyes. One morning, they step out of their small home, take a deep breath, and in the light of dawn, something within them has changed forever. Not because everything is good again, but because they no longer fear the darkness. They understand that they have passed their first trial, the baptism by fire. And from the ashes, their soul has been reborn. The journey of the chosen has only just begun. But now, they are no longer afraid. They know that every storm is the beginning of a new sunrise. And no matter how fierce the flames may burn, they will keep walking forward, because they have learned the greatest truth of all, that real strength is not in never falling, but in rising again, in loving, even when everything seems lost. And so, in the gentle light of morning, the chosen continue their path, carrying a heart once broken but now more radiant than ever, a soul forged in fire, ready to face the next trial, where water will cleanse them, the trial of purity within the world. After walking through the fire of adversity, the chosen one may think that peace has finally come. But fire is only the first trial, for when the body and mind have endured enough, the soul must face a subtler challenge, the trial of purification. If fire shapes the will, then water cleanses the heart. The world around the chosen one remains the same, loud, hurried, overflowing with the lure of wealth and fame. Yet, they can feel that something within them has changed. They now see the world as if through clear glass, seeing both its beauty and its deceit intertwined. Within them arises one pure desire to live in this world and still keep the soul untainted. When others run toward the noise, they seek silence. When others strive to prove themselves, they simply wish to understand who they truly are. But the path of purity is not an easy one. The world never stops testing them through temptation, fear, and the weariness of long days. Each time this happens, the chosen one retreats inward, where the words of Psalm 119:11 flow like cool water. I have hidden your word in my heart, that I might not sin against you. They understand that keeping the soul pure does not mean escaping life. It means learning how to walk through the mud without letting it cling to their feet. It means standing among the world without losing oneself. And that is the hardest lesson of all, for the world knows well how to make people forget who they truly are. One afternoon, sitting in a small cafe watching the crowd rush by, the chosen one realizes how easily people are drawn into the noise of the masses. Everyone wears a mask, the mask of strength, of success, of perfection. But behind those smiles lies the fear of being forgotten, an emptiness no one dares to name. The chosen one closes their eyes, exhales softly, and whispers to themselves, I do not wish to be anyone else. I only wish to be myself, even if it means walking the other way. Purification begins the moment they stop trying to become someone and start learning to simply be. One by one, layers fall away. The need for praise, the fear of judgment, the desire for approval. With each layer shed, they feel lighter, closer to truth, like a drop of dew resting on a leaf, reflecting the morning light, simple yet pure. The world will test them with subtle invitations, a tempting opportunity built on lies, a flattering word with hidden motives, a beautiful relationship lacking honesty. Each time, the chosen one must choose again between what is easy and what is right, between reputation and truth, between noise and stillness. They understand that purification is not only the cleansing of sin, but the courage to say no to anything that does not belong to the light. There are days they grow tired, days they question whether it is worth living with purity when the world seems built on compromise. But in that struggle, they realize something profound. No one is chosen to be perfect. They are chosen to be real. And being real always comes with a price. One night, while the city sleeps, the chosen one walks down a quiet alley, the rain falling softly on their shoulders. They feel each drop touch their skin, cool, clean, alive. Suddenly, they understand that purification is not just a process, but a sacred ritual. Each time water touches the body, a part of the darkness within is washed away. Each time they choose goodness, even in small ways, the water of grace flows through them a little more. And in that moment, they smile, realizing they are becoming a stream, not just a stone lying in the stream. Keeping a pure heart does not separate them from the world. It changes the way they see it. Instead of judging, they begin to understand. Instead of despising what is false, they feel compassion for the fear behind it. When the heart is purified, it opens wide, no longer confined by right or wrong, gain or loss. From there, they live lighter, love easier, and forgive faster. On a quiet morning, they stand by the window, watching sunlight fall over the city. That light does not choose only the clean places to shine. It touches everything. And they understand the light of the soul must do the same, shining even into the darkest corners. Purification is not about being separate, but about being in harmony. The chosen one writes in their journal, "I want to be a stream in the desert, where anyone who touches it feels refreshed, even if only once." And as they write, they can feel a new energy spreading through them, light, clear, and peaceful. If you are hearing these words and feel a quiet longing for purity within your own heart, know that you are not alone. We all carry dust from the world, yet every soul has the power to cleanse itself. Share what you feel, not because these words need to spread, but because when you speak, the light within you begins to stir. Every comment, every sharing, is a small drop of water added to the great river where light meets light. And so, the chosen one continues walking, carrying a heart washed clean after the fire. They have learned the lesson of water, that true strength is not in hardness, but in the ability to keep flowing without being tainted. They understand that on the road ahead, there will still be many nights of darkness, but now they carry an inner light to guide their way. In the stillness, a new sign begins to appear, the number 333, showing up like a whisper from above. You are not alone, and as the light of purification joins with the promise of protection, the chosen one knows they are ready for the next trial, where they will face despair to discover the true light of hope. After the soul has been purified, the chosen one may believe the hardest days are behind them. But the spiritual journey does not follow the laws of men. The brighter the light within them shines, the more the darkness outside comes to test it. Not to destroy, but to see if the flame can endure without being blown out. And so, the third trial begins. The trial of despair. Despair does not arrive with thunder. It comes like the night dew, quiet and unseen, seeping into every corner of the soul. At first, it is only a vague emptiness. Then come the mornings when the world feels meaningless. Things that once brought joy now seem hollow. Even prayer feels like it echoes into nothing. The chosen one begins to wonder, have I lost my connection to the light? There are nights when they sit alone in darkness, with no more tears left to cry. They feel as if everything they have ever believed in has collapsed. The world feels distant, cold. The people who once stood beside them have gone. They whisper to themselves, if this is the path of light, why is it so dark? And in that silence, the words of Psalm 27:1 flicker like a small torch in the night. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? They do not speak it aloud. They only breathe it quietly within. Yet strangely, in that hollow space of hopelessness, the verse echoes back, faint but real, like the first beam of dawn piercing the night sky. Fragile, yet true. The chosen one realizes that even when they feel nothing at all, the light is still there, waiting patiently. The following days are harsh and heavy. Each morning feels like dragging themselves out of a desert. Every small task, eating, working, speaking, becomes a burden. At times, they think of giving up, but a quiet voice within keeps whispering, just one more step, and they obey. One step, then another. Gradually, they begin to understand that despair is not the enemy. It is the most demanding teacher. It teaches them the limits of human strength and the necessity of faith. When a person has nothing left to cling to, they discover the one thing that can never be taken away: faith in the Creator and in the light within their own soul. One cold morning, the chosen one steps outside. The sky is covered in mist. They see the sun hidden behind thick clouds, not bright, yet still there. In that moment, they understand that hope is like the sun, sometimes hidden, but never gone. And they smile, a small, trembling smile, but a real one. As they walk through despair, they begin to notice small signs from the universe, as if heaven itself were whispering, "I am still here." A small bird lands on the windowsill. A stranger smiles at the right time. A song plays with words that feel like comfort. And in those moments, the number 333 appears again on a license plate, a clock, an old receipt. At first, they do not notice, but soon it begins to repeat again and again. Then they remember what they have learned on their journey. The 333 is the number of protection, a message that angels are near, that they were never alone. And this time, they feel it for real, not in the mind, but in the heart. A warm current spreads through them, not from outside, but from within, as if a small flame has been lit again. From that moment, they begin to understand the true meaning of hope. Hope is not waiting for everything to be good again. Hope is continuing to believe even when you cannot see the light. It is walking through the night, not knowing where the path is, trusting that the road will appear as you move forward. Day by day, step by step, they come back to life, quietly, gently. Each morning, they feel a little lighter, a little calmer. They begin doing small things again, making tea, tidying a corner of the room, writing words of gratitude. Each small act becomes a thread, stitching together the torn pieces of their soul. One afternoon, they walk through a park. Sunlight filters through the leaves, scattering into 1,000 soft sparkles. They stop, lift their face to the sky, and in that moment, the world feels tender again. No longer a place of loss and pain, but a place of life. Everything is still there. Birds, wind, sunlight, things that were once silent now speak again. The chosen one feels their heart open, and in the gentle breeze, they hear an invisible voice. You have passed through the night. As the darkness fades, they realize despair is no longer something to fear. It is not a pit, but a doorway to faith. For how could one know the true power of light without first touching the depths of night? They understand that light is not something to see, but something to become. That evening, they light a single candle in their quiet room. The flame dances softly, illuminating their face. They watch it and smile. No night is so dark that it can quench the light of a single candle. The saying they once heard now feels true. No darkness can ever extinguish the light of a soul that believes. And so, they learn the third lesson, that true strength is not in avoiding despair, but in daring to face it and light a fire from within. This is the miracle every chosen one must experience, turning pain into light and darkness into a torch that guides the way. The chosen one emerges from the night with different eyes. In their gaze, there is understanding, compassion, and a light that does not easily fade. They know there are still others out there, struggling in their own nights. And they whisper, "If I can keep this flame alive, I will use it to light the way for them." The journey is not over. More trials lie ahead. But now, the chosen one carries the greatest gift of all, faith. They have walked through fire, through water, through darkness, and found the true light. A light not born from the world outside, but from the deepest place within the soul. And so, they keep walking, no longer afraid, no longer in despair, only grateful. For they now understand, it was the darkness that taught them how to see the light, and despair that open the door to eternal hope. When the chosen one steps out of the darkness of despair, the world seems wider. Every sound becomes clearer. Every color seems renewed. They begin to feel the rhythm of life in a different way, slower, deeper, and full of gratitude. Yet at the same time, they notice something strange. Their heart has become more sensitive than ever. The pain of others touches them as if it were their own. They can no longer turn away from suffering, can no longer pretend not to hear the cries in the night. Purification opened their eyes, but compassion opens the door of the heart. The chosen one begins to understand that the path of awakening does not end with healing oneself, but continues with learning to feel and share the pain of the world. This is the trial of compassion, the challenge that asks the soul to go beyond the self and touch the heart of humanity. In the beginning, they feel like a wanderer lost in an ocean of emotions. Every story they hear, every tired glance they meet, stirs something within them. Before, they could easily walk past a beggar on the street or scroll past news of war and disaster without a thought. But now, they cannot. Their heart trembles like the strings of a harp each time they see suffering. They ask themselves, is this a burden or a blessing? One morning, as the first light shines through the window, they open the Bible and read Psalm 147:3. He heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds. They pause for a long time, not to memorize it, but because they feel it alive within them. They realize that God heals not only through miracles, but through people who are willing to listen, to embrace, and to love. And perhaps they are being called to be one of those hands. They begin to open their heart more, speaking to those forgotten, listening to the stories of the wounded, sharing what little they have with those in need. Each small act becomes a thread that connects them to the soul of humanity. And slowly, they understand that compassion is not pity, but a deep resonance with another's pain, because they themselves have been there. One afternoon, sitting by the river, they see a child placing a paper boat into the water. The little boat wobbles but keeps floating on. They smile, realizing that compassion is just like that. It doesn't need to be grand. Once released, it travels far, reaching places we could never imagine. The chosen one begins to feel the sacred connection between themselves and all living things. The pain of a stranger makes them ache. The smile of another brings warmth to their heart. They no longer feel separate, but part of one great heart, the heart of all humanity. And in that moment, they understand a simple truth. When we help heal another, we are healing ourselves. But the path of compassion is not always gentle. The more open their heart becomes, the easier it is to be hurt. There are times they help someone, only to be betrayed. Times they offer love, only to be misunderstood or used. The pain tempts them to close their heart again. They sit in silence, wondering, is compassion really worth it when the world often responds with coldness? Then, in that stillness, a quiet voice rises within. Compassion does not need to be returned, because it is not a gift for others, but a gift for your own soul. The chosen one suddenly understands. True love does not seek recognition. It is simply the natural expression of a soul that has once been broken and knows what healing feels like. From that moment, they no longer fear being hurt. They learn to love without counting, to give without expecting thanks. They grow lighter, as if their heart has become wide enough to hold both the pain and the joy of the world. And the more they give, the more peace they find. One day, they meet a stranger on the street, an old man sitting quietly in a corner, eyes filled with sadness. The chosen one stops, sits beside him, and says nothing. After a while, the man turns and softly says, "Thank you for sitting with me. That is all." But in that moment, they understand that sometimes presence alone is enough. Compassion does not always need action. Sometimes it is simply being there with love. On the way home, the chosen one feels their heart glowing like a small lantern. They know the world is still full of pain, but also full of chances to love. And they make a silent promise, never to let their heart close again, no matter the hurt. For a closed heart cannot feel pain, but it also cannot feel love. That night, they write in their journal, "I want to be your hand, touching where the world still hurts. I want to be a voice for those who have been silent for too long." And as they finish writing, a warm light spreads across their chest, soft as breath, the sign that the soul has truly opened. They have walked through the fire of trials, the water of purification, and the darkness of despair. Now, they have learned the language of compassion, a language that needs no words, only feeling. And in that vibration, the chosen one realizes, being chosen is not about being honored. It is about being called to heal. And like a river that never stops flowing, they continue their journey with a heart soft yet strong, carrying the power of love within. Ahead lies the next trial, where they must learn to unite their spiritual mission with the material world, to live, to work, and to succeed without losing their soul. After living for months with compassion, the chosen one slowly realizes that love alone is not enough. The light within must be sown into the world, not only through words or feelings, but through tangible action. Because true love is not just a feeling, it is a power that brings change. And so begins the next trial, the trial of purposeful success. This is not a journey to chase fame or wealth, but a calling to learn how to use the gifts God has given to serve the world. Every chosen one carries a talent, a divine seed within. But talent alone is only potential. Unless it is planted into the soil of life, it will never bloom. The chosen one begins to understand that their next task is to turn the inner light into outward action. At first, they feel lost at a crossroads of life. How can one live true to the soul and still meet the demands of reality? How can one earn a living without losing integrity? How can one pursue a dream without falling into the trap of ego? These questions followed them each day. And then one morning, while walking through a small garden, they remember the verse from Psalm 37:4. Delight yourself in the Lord, and He will give you the desires of your heart. The words shine like a guiding light. They realize that true success does not come from chasing ambition, but from living with joy in what God has placed within the heart. When we do what we are born to do, with love and service, the universe arranges the rest. Success then is no longer a reward, but a natural result of harmony between purpose and action. And so, they begin. They choose work they believe in, not because it is easy, but because it is right. They plant small seeds with patience, writing a page, helping a person, creating something meaningful. Slowly, the seeds begin to sprout. Doors once closed start to open. People of like mind appear, those who also live with purpose and carry their own light. But as always, every path carries its trials. When success arrives, it brings temptation, the desire to be recognized, admired, praised. The applause of others can easily make the heart forget its original reason. The chosen one realizes that without awareness, the light can turn into a flame that burns the soul. There comes a moment when they nearly lose their direction. Pressure, the urge to prove themselves, and the endless comparisons make them forget why they started. They work tirelessly, give until exhaustion, and one day they collapse. Lying in a hospital bed surrounded by machines, they finally understand that success cannot be traded for the soul. In their weakness, they pray, Lord, if I have lost my way, please show me what is true again. A gentle breeze moves the curtain, and peace fills the room. A quiet voice within whispers, you have nothing to prove. You only need to live true to the purpose I placed inside you. In that moment, tears fall, and they know they must begin again. But this time, not to be seen, but to be. After recovering, they return to their work with a new heart. Every project, every task becomes a silent prayer. They no longer ask, will this make me more successful? But instead, will this help someone feel loved? And strangely, the more they let go of personal gain, the more the path opens. Success comes softly, steadily, not as pursuit, but as alignment. The chosen one begins to see that success is not the destination, but the means to love more deeply. When they use their influence to lift others, to empower the weak, to share wisdom, the light within them shines brighter. They are no longer chasing success, but sowing light through the work they do. One evening, reflecting on the journey behind them, they realized that every challenge, adversity, purification, despair was preparation for this moment. Without past wounds, they would not know how to feel for others. Without loss, they would not know how to share their blessings. And without falling, they would never understand the value of rising again. In the stillness of night, they write in their journal, I do not need wealth to feel successful. I only need to know that my work makes this world a little warmer. a little brighter. And as they finish writing, they feel the presence of something sacred, gentle, warm, like the smile of God. From then on, when they see others succeed, they no longer feel envy, but offer blessings. For they understand that in every soul living true to its purpose, the light of God shines once more. And so, even in a chaotic world, hope remains because there are still those who choose success as service, not domination. They know the journey is not over. Beyond success lies another test, the trial of fame and integrity, where one must learn to keep the heart pure even under the brightest light. But now, the chosen one is changed. They no longer fear failure, nor being forgotten. They fear only one thing, losing the truth within. And so, they keep walking, with a calm smile, clear eyes, and a steadfast heart. For they understand that when you live for something greater than yourself, every day is a miracle. As time passes, the light carried by the chosen one begins to spread. Everything they touch seems to bloom. Their work flourishes. People come to them for guidance, to be heard, to find their way. They become the very source of inspiration they once sought. But light, when it shines too brightly, begins to cast a shadow. And so begins the sixth trial, the trial of morality and fame. Fame arrives softly, like a breeze, but once it does, it has the power to sweep away even the strongest of souls. The chosen one feels this deeply. The compliments, the admiration, the expectant eyes begin to weave around them like threads of gold, sweet, radiant, yet dangerous. For a small part within them, the part that once longed to be seen, loved, and praised, starts to awaken. They see their own fragility. When someone says, "You are my inspiration," their heart trembles. When another writes, "You changed my life," their eyes fill with tears. Yet one night, as they look into the mirror, they see their reflection no longer serene, but restless. In the light of fame, the shadow of the ego has begun to grow. They step back, withdraw into silence. No social media, no meetings, no praise, only stillness. In that stillness, they open the Bible and find Psalm 131:1. "My heart is not proud. Lord, my eyes are not haughty." They read it again and again, until the words seep into every breath. A wave of peace spreads through them, as if a gentle voice reminds them, "You do not need to be greater than anyone. You only need to be true." And they understand. Fame itself is not evil, but it is the test of light. For if the flame is not pure, it will burn itself out. The chosen one begins to reflect, am I doing this out of love or out of the need to be seen? Am I sharing to help others or to avoid being forgotten? Each time they answer honestly, they feel lighter. One morning, they walk through a garden where wildflowers bloom freely. No one recognizes them. No one knows their name. They sit on a bench, breathe deeply, and smile. In that moment, they realize that true happiness is not found in applause, but in the quiet peace of knowing they are living in alignment with goodness. In the months that follow, the chosen one continues their work, but with a new heart. They begin to step out of the spotlight, giving space for others to shine. They use their influence to lift smaller voices, to support souls just beginning their journey. The more they do this, the more profound joy they feel, the joy of planting seeds without needing to see the flowers bloom. But the world does not easily understand. Some say they are afraid. Others think they have lost their drive. Yet the chosen one simply smiles. They know that when one truly understands humility, they have already gone beyond fame. They start to love the quiet moments of anonymity, the early mornings when sunlight touches their face, the times they listen deeply to someone's heart, the good deeds done with no witness. And in that hiddenness, their soul grows stronger. One day, while praying, they feel the presence of light surrounding them. Not dazzling, not blinding, just pure peace. In their mind, the number 777 appears, clear and steady, like a seal from heaven. They know it is a sign of soul awakening, a message that they have passed the trials of material and moral tests, and their spirit has reached maturity. The number 777 speaks like a divine whisper. You have understood that all outer light is but a reflection of the light within. When you embrace humility, you become the true light. They write the number in their journal, not as a symbol of mystery, but as a reminder that they are never alone, that heaven still watches, guiding them through even the smallest signs. From that moment on, the chosen one no longer fears fame. They understand that light becomes dangerous only when one forgets that it does not belong to them. They learn to live like a candle burning, not to be praised, but to illuminate the path. They speak less, act more. Every word they share is chosen with care, not to prove, but to awaken faith in others. The more they live this way, the freer they become. Free from expectations, from numbers, from the need to be seen. They no longer need to prove that they are chosen, for now they know the truth. Anyone who lives true to their light is chosen. One evening, as the sun sinks beneath the horizon, they whisper softly, "True light never needs to prove itself. It only needs to shine." And in that moment, they know they have crossed a great threshold. From the seeker of light, they have become the light itself. Yet the chosen one knows the journey is not over. After learning to keep the heart pure amid glory, one final path remains the path of unity, where all trials, all pain, and all lessons merge into one great symphony of the soul. And so, as night falls, they stand quietly beneath the starry sky, eyes closed, breathing deeply, feeling the warm current of peace flow through their being. No more fear, no more desire, no need to prove. Only stillness, the stillness of one who has learned that true glory lies in humility, and true power lies in peace. They open their eyes, gaze upward, and see the number 777 shimmering faintly among the stars. A reminder that the journey of the soul never ends with applause, but with union with the eternal light. After the waves of fame fade and the light softens into gentleness, the chosen one begins to feel something profound. Every trial of the past pain, purification, despair, compassion, purpose, and humility reveals itself as part of a greater design. Now, the pieces are falling into place. A deep stillness surrounds them. Not the emptiness of loneliness, but the peace of a soul that has finally understood its purpose. The chosen one no longer searches for light outside themselves. They have journeyed far enough to know that the true light lives within the heart, where all questions, fears, and desires dissolve. They look back on their path, the nights of tears, the losses that once felt unbearable, the days of hope and despair, and see that nothing was wasted. Every wound, every challenge carried the shape of grace. One evening, they stand on a mountain ridge, gazing toward the sunset. The last light of day paints the clouds in red and gold. The wind moves gently through their hair, carrying the scent of earth and grass. In that moment, everything around them feels sacred. The trees, the stones, the sky, each part singing the same silent hymn. They close their eyes, and the words of Psalm 23:4 rise within them. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. The verse feels like a final confirmation. Darkness, once a source of fear, has become an old friend. They understand now that darkness is not the enemy, but the place where light learns to grow stronger. Without night, dawn has no meaning. Without fear, faith could never mature. In that moment, the chosen one feels no need to resist anything anymore. They accept it all, light and shadow, pain and joy, as the rhythm of one divine breath. From that acceptance, something miraculous unfolds. They experience unity. There is no longer a boundary between self and world, between human and divine. Everything is one ocean of energy, one breath, one infinite love, flowing through all forms. They realize the Creator was never distant, but has always lived within every cell of life, within every heartbeat of their own being. Enlightenment does not come like a flash of lightning, but like a slow sunrise. The light spreads gradually, warm and patient, reaching every place within that was once cold. They cry not from sorrow, but from awe, for they now see that they were never abandoned, never lost. Everything was a lesson, perfectly designed for them to learn love, trust, and surrender. The chosen one begins to see the world with new eyes. They see life in every drop of water, hear music in the wind, and feel grace in every breath. They no longer need to explain or define. It is enough simply to be present, whole, awake. Every step they take upon the earth is a prayer. Every glance, a message of love whispered to the universe. One day, they meet again those who once caused them pain. Their heart does not tremble, nor does it hold resentment. Instead, there is understanding. They smile, not because they have forgotten, but because they have forgiven. They realize that everyone is simply finding their way home, each in their own way, and on that journey, no one is truly an enemy. We are all souls reflecting one another, so we can learn, grow, and love. Enlightenment does not pull them away from the world. It draws them deeper into it. They return to daily life, carrying a stillness that nothing can shake. When others are angry, they remain calm. When others are afraid, their gaze stays steady. They no longer strive to be good, because goodness has become their nature. At night, they often sit alone in silence, simply feeling the flow of life. No more pleading, no more searching. They only whisper, "Thank you for letting me be who I am." In that moment, they understand that this is the summit of the spiritual journey, the union of the human soul and the divine light. A soft wind passes by. Everything around them becomes clear and transparent, as if the world with all its chaos and color is a mirror reflecting invisible perfection. They smile, their heart full of gratitude. No more need for proof, no more need for explanation. Every question has found its answer not through thought, but through understanding felt deep within the heart. If someone were to ask, they would say, enlightenment is not a destination, but a way of seeing. It is not a miracle that happens in the light, but a gentle shift in how we perceive the dark. When we stop searching for God, somewhere far away, we find Him in every breath, every heartbeat, every human eye. And so, the chosen one steps into a new chapter, not as a seeker of the path, but as the bearer of it. The light within no longer blazes, but glows softly, warmly, spreading wherever they go. Every word they speak, every act they do, becomes a blessing to the world. At dawn, as the first light of the sun breaks over the horizon, they whisper, "I am no longer afraid, for I know you are with me." The words travel with the wind, echoing into the sound of the universe. A chapter has closed the chapter of trials and transformation, and another has begun the chapter of service, of light, of infinite love. When the chosen one reaches unity within their soul, they no longer see life as a battle between good and evil, light and darkness. They see only one continuous flow, the flow of life itself, where everything has a place and every soul has a purpose. They begin to understand why the universe chose them not to stand above others, but to become a mirror for those who have forgotten the light within their own hearts. The world around them is still noisy, divided, and full of fear. People still run, fight, prove, and forget that within each of them, a small candle waits to be lit. The chosen one looks upon it all and no longer judges. They know that every soul is learning at its own pace. Some lessons can only be understood through pain, and some hearts awaken only after being pushed into darkness. They begin to share this truth not through preaching, but through presence. In their eyes, others feel something deeper than words. In their voice, there is a peace that reminds people they too are loved, they too are chosen. And so the light continues to spread not through noise or miracles, but through life itself. One day, they are invited to speak before a group of people searching for direction. They step onto the stage with no script, only their heart and their truth. Looking into the faces, waiting for guidance, they begin to speak. No one here is forgotten. No one is meaningless. Every pain you've carried is part of the process that makes you shine brighter. God does not choose the strong. He chooses those willing to learn how to love, even through suffering. The room falls silent. No applause, only the quiet sound of hearts opening. Then they continue. The world does not need more perfect people. It needs honest hearts and souls that know compassion. When you love someone unconditionally, when you forgive while your heart is still aching, when you stand again after failure, that is when you awaken the most sacred part of yourself. They pause, take a deep breath, and smile. If you have ever seen the number 111, remember that it is an invitation, a sign that the universe is opening a new chapter in your soul. If you've noticed 333, it is the angel's message that you are not alone, that light walks beside you. And if 777 appears in your life, it is the mark of awakening, the sign of a soul ready to live as the light it has always sought. Their voice grows softer, deeper. Listen to your intuition. Which number is calling you? Let it become your commitment. If you feel 111, comment that you are ready to begin again. If you feel 333, share to remind others they are not alone. And if 777 echoes in your heart, Declare that you are ready to live fully as your soul. Every word you speak is a spark. And when thousands of sparks shine together, darkness has nowhere left to hide. The gentle light of late afternoon filters through the window, casting a soft glow on their face. In that moment, the chosen one feels it deeply. They are not merely speaking, but transmitting the heartbeat of the universe. They are no longer a single person, but the voice of many awakening souls. When the talk ends, there is no loud applause. People simply sit in silence. One wipes away tears. Another smiles faintly. Another looks up, as if sensing something greater than themselves for the first time. That is exactly what the chosen one hoped for. Not admiration, but transformation. They leave the hall and step outside. A light rain has begun to fall. Under the thin veil of rain, the street lights shimmer like thousands of small drops of light descending upon the earth. The chosen one tilts their head to the sky, closes their eyes, and feels each cool drop touch their skin. They whisper, "Lord, if I am chosen, let me be this rain, small, silent, yet carrying life to every place I touch." They know now that light does not lie in what we do, but in the love we bring into everything we do. When we pour tea with gratitude, when we listen without judgment, when we choose truth over convenience, that is when we are serving the divine. In the days that follow, the chosen one continues living among people, just like anyone else. But every action they take carries the awareness of an awakened soul. They work, help, love, and quietly spread light. They know that true light does not need to shout. It only needs to endure. One quiet evening, they walk down an empty street. The night sky is full of stars, peaceful and vast like a velvet ocean. Within them, a voice whispers, "You now understand that the flame you carry is not just to guide yourself, but to light other candles." They smile. Every pain they once endured has found its meaning, for each wound has become a light for someone else. And so, the chosen one shares one final message. A message not only for the awakened, but for everyone. Believe that you too are chosen, not by the world, but by life itself. Each of us is a small candle in the hands of the Creator. We were not born to shine alone, but to brighten the sky together. Do not fear the dark, for it is the darkness that gives light its meaning. Their voice fades into the wind, but the message lingers, like the echo of an ancient prayer carried to every searching heart. And in the last silence, the chosen one whispers not to the world, but to their own soul, "The light is not where I go, it is within me." The night falls silent upon the world. The chosen one stands in the space where earth meets sky, where every journey seems to merge into a single breath. There is no more noise, no more applause, no more longing for recognition. Only peace, deep, vast, and steady. The kind of peace they spent a lifetime seeking, walking through fire, through water, through darkness, only to discover it was always within them. Moonlight shines upon the ground, reflecting softly on a face that has known pain, tears, and perseverance. Now, in those eyes, there is no fear, no doubt, only the gentle glow of gratitude. They know the journey is complete, not because they have achieved greatness, but because they have learned the simplest truth of all, to live with an open heart and a humble soul. They recall the words of Psalm 46:10, "Be still and know that I am God." For years they searched, questioned, and wrestled with life to find meaning. But now, in the quiet, they understand. No more answers are needed. Every breath, every heartbeat, every breeze brushing their face is His presence. Everything is God expressing Himself in laughter, in tears, in the small and ordinary moments we often overlook. The chosen one sits beside a large stone, feeling the cool earth beneath their palms. They close their eyes and listen the wind moving through the trees, the distant murmur of a stream. Together, they form a sacred symphony, composed by no one, yet touching every soul that hears it. They realize life was never a race. It is a dance between light and shadow, between birth and death, between beginnings and endings. When the light in their heart merges with the light of heaven and earth, they whisper, "Lord, thank you for everything. Thank you for the fire that taught me strength. Thank you for the water that taught me purity. Thank you for the night that taught me how to see the dawn. Thank you for humanity, for teaching me love. And thank you for showing me yourself through everything I once called pain." From deep within, A warm radiance begins to flow, spreading through their body, then beyond, as if their soul has merged with an ocean of infinite light. In that light, there are no boundaries between self and world, no chosen ones and unchosen ones. All is one, all is light. They open their eyes. The sky is filled with stars, each one shining like a soul reflecting their light back. They realize that being chosen was never a privilege. It was the responsibility of love. For when light is given to you, it is not yours to keep. It is meant to guide others toward their own light. They look around, the world goes on. Somewhere, someone is in pain. Elsewhere, someone laughs. The flow continues, and they understand that the light they carry is not meant to stay hidden on this mountain of stillness. It must return to the world, to the streets, the homes, the hearts, still closed in fear. Before they leave, they whisper a blessing not for themselves, but for all of humanity. May every soul struggling through the night remember the light waiting within. May those who fear find the courage to love again. May this world learn to be silent long enough to hear the voice of love. They rise and walk into the night. Every step is a prayer, every breath a word of thanks. And as they disappear into the shadows, a small light remains soft, steady, guiding the way for those who will come after. The story seems to end here, yet for every listener, it is only beginning. Because the chosen one is not just a figure in this tale, it could be you. If these words have reached you, perhaps your soul is answering the same call. Maybe you are in the middle of your own trial, your own storm. But remember this, no night lasts forever, and no darkness is thick enough to hide the light of a believing heart. The chosen one began their path with 111, the number of new beginnings. They received 333, the message of protection and divine guidance. And they stepped through 777, the seal of spiritual awakening. So now, what number is calling you? 111 for brave renewal, 333 for trust and divine presence, or 777 for a soul ready to shine. Share the one that resonates with you. Sometimes, a simple act of acknowledgement is your way of telling the universe you have heard the call. Before you leave this moment, pause for a few seconds. Close your eyes, breathe deeply, feel life flowing through you. You are here, in this vast universe, loved, guided, chosen. Not because you are perfect, but because you are willing to become light. If this story touched your heart, share it. Not because it needs to be known, but because the world needs more light. Every share, every comment, every breath of gratitude is another candle being lit. And when thousands of candles burn together, the world will shine. The chosen one is no longer a single person. It is us, all souls awakening, learning to love, remembering our divine origin. Walk gently, with an open heart and steady faith. For this journey does not end in the story, it continues in every breath you take after hearing these words. And when you look back, you will see the light you were searching for never left. It has always been here, within you, around you, and in every soul you touch. May peace be with you. May light guide every step you take. And may your journey stand as proof that we are all chosen to love, to forgive, and to illuminate the world. Grateful that you chose to spend these moments in the light of this story. If it touched your soul, please like, share, and subscribe, and ring the bell so the next whisper of light may find its way back to you.